Alright everyone, it's time for Vermont Issues episode 132. A UVM student who is not named in this actual legal brief is suing UVM for discrimination over sex assault allegations. What happened is this student was at apparently a party, like a bar, and dancing and hanging out, apparently with his girlfriend, supposedly at the time. And another individual, another student who was female, made the claim that he had groped her. Now, no actual evidence was given of this. Another person who was present at the time didn't apparently notice this happening. It's simply a situation of he said, she said. He's saying, well, no, I didn't do this. I never even met this person. She's saying, yes, this is the person who groped me at the party. No further evidence of any kind apparently was given. Yet he was expelled from the school. I personally am going to side with the student on this. This is not a situation where you have a public official and you've got 20, 30 people coming forward saying, yeah, over the years he's been groping and harassing everything in front of him. It's not a Charlie Rose, a Harvey Weinstein, a Bill Cosby sort of situation. This is a situation where someone has made a claim that it could totally be about just trying to screw somebody else's life. Or it could be a mistake. It could be, someone who looked vaguely like this kid happened to be in the bar at the same time, did, grab this woman's ass, and then, wandered off, and she identified the wrong person because she apparently had no idea who, strictly speaking, it was. I find it unacceptable that a university that takes, by the way, public money, that's definitely an intricate factor within this, should be able to conduct its own investigations into potential criminal wrongdoing. I don't think they should be able to conduct any form of investigations into such things. I think it should be handled by the normal judicial process. Interestingly enough, this is being facilitated by Betsy DeVos, actually, or DeVos, whatever the hell her name is. She's rolled back some of the Obama-era impositions within the educational establishment in order to make it harder for universities and colleges to punish people without proper evidence. Because under the Obama sort of title, I think it was Title IX that they imposed, universities, they can just basically force out anyone that they want. Now, these are essentially for-profit corporations. The fact that they say, well, we're an educational establishment, okay, it's still a business. Ultimately, they still have to run a profit and everything. If Walmart decided tomorrow to tell all of the people, that'll probably side with UVM here, if Walmart were to come out tomorrow and say, hey, from now on, anytime there is potential criminal conduct of a sexual nature in a Walmart, we're going to investigate it ourselves. And we'll fire employees, according to whether we think that they happen to be guilty or not of any allegations against them. But the police won't come in. They won't deal with it unless it's a killing or something. For anything sexual or whatever, we'll handle it. No judge. There will be no, nobody can actually have a real trial. They're going to have to go through us, and we'll just, fire them if we happen to believe them to be guilty. In no way, shape, or form does that even come close, though, in this case, to the threshold of evidence that one would need to prosecute in a court, a civil court or a criminal court. There's no way in hell that simply in a he said, she said situation, somebody's going to end up behind bars or fined or have to pay restitution in an actual proceeding within the judiciary. It would never happen. It would be tossed out upon appeal if some activist judge did say, well, he looks rapey, so I'm going to put him in prison. Upon appeal, that judge would probably be out of a job by the end of the year. So why should UVM or any other academic institution be able to do the same thing? It just doesn't make any sense. They're saying, well, we believe we acted properly, but it's just your belief. There's no evidence that he did anything wrong. There's no evidence that he even met this individual, so how the hell can you punish him? That has repercussions. The problem is this. It's not just an issue of, well, it's our university, we get to choose, sort of who's here and who's not here, so screw off. It goes beyond that. It forms almost a perpetual punishment. When someone has been expelled from an academic institution, And all the loan providers know they've been expelled. Other colleges will know that they've been expelled. Everybody knows that they've been expelled. Oh, you're that rapey kid that got expelled from UVM for groping up a woman. Well, I never got a trial. There was never any evidence. Oh, yeah, but haha, the UVM expelled you. That means that you're guilty. That's basically a dog whistle to everybody else in the world. Hey, you're basically a molester. I don't find that. And the real thing is, like, I went to UVM. So, I guess UVM's reputation matters in a roundabout way to me on a personal level because I happen to attend it and give them tens of thousands of dollars to do so. But I just think back to, like, maybe when I was there. Like, what if someone had just decided, hey, I don't like this kid. I'm going to say he groped me in the hallway. No, apparently I could have gotten kicked out. I wouldn't even have to have known the person. They wouldn't need anybody to back up their claim because apparently it's just one person claiming this. Nobody else saw anything, and apparently his girlfriend's going to come to his defense because he was supposedly there with her the whole time. So he's got someone saying, no, he didn't grope anyone. The claimant has nobody to back up their claim except themselves, and yet he still ends up getting punished. UVM doesn't find this to be a problem. You paid us tens of thousands of dollars to come here, and you're hedging your entire future on being associated with our university. We're going to make sure the whole world knows, hey, no, you've been expelled because you harassed people. Sorry, I don't think that that's acceptable. Not in any way, shape, or form. A person should not face punishment unless there's some reasonable degree of evidence that they've done something actually of a criminal or in a civilly liable sense nature. Somebody's done something wrong. There's no evidence of it. No evidence has been given. There's the problem. They should, at the very least, they should have to preponder the evidence. And a person should be able to appeal any university decision in such a case to the actual judicial system. If they're going to be able to conduct their own proceedings at all, I don't even think they should be able to. If I'm paying a group to go there and learn, which means memorize for tests most of the time, if I'm paying an academic institution, a corporation, to teach me various material, I should have some reasonable protection about being cut loose and having all of my plans for that year completely laid waste to, simply, on the whim of another student. I should have a reasonable degree of protection. Also, what happens if a student said, yeah, the professor told me that that if I sucked his dick, he'd give me an A? Would you need evidence in that case? What if they said it about the dean? What if they said it about some administrator? Would you force them out? Because you're going to open up a can of worms here. When you start punishing people without evidence and assuming guilt, that opens up everybody in the whole world. It doesn't really matter. As we've seen, it doesn't matter if you're rich and powerful at this point. So what do you think's going to fucking happen to, like, the dean when the next student who gets a couple of Fs, really pissed off at the school? Oh, the dean tried to rape me in a drunken stupor last night. Oh, really? All you have to do is have been in proximity with them once, in an area where there aren't 10 witnesses, apparently, and you can get the dean fired, you can get a professor fired, you can get other students expelled. Well, that's going to be great for anybody who holds a grudge. It's almost incentivizing being an asshole. And I understand, of course, in many cases there won't be any witnesses to sexual assault or rape or something. It'll happen in a situation where, it's to someone, the person passed out, and you locked yourself in the room and molested somebody and then, wandered out. So now there's no other witnesses other than you, the rapist, and the person who was raped. Okay, fully understood, and it is a problem, but you can't start randomly axing people from academics on mere claims. By the way, what if it was a dude claiming this about a girl? Oh yeah, she was like trying to, grope me up or something. Would they have expelled the female student? I'm going to hazard a guess, probably not. Probably they would have asked for a little more evidence in such a case. Or what about this student's grades? Let's look at their academic standing. Were they like a C student and so the university didn't care as much as if they had been the valedictorian? Something? Yeah, this sort of stuff does happen. I think it's a little bit different, though, when it's some average Joe than when it's like a public official or something. You get someone who's got tens of millions of dollars in the bank, like a Kevin Spacey or something, and you got allegations without specific evidence against them. But then you're like, yeah, but is this person going to be hurting for certain because of this allegation, even if they get totally shit on? Well, they're not going to go to prison. There's no evidence. They're probably not going to be held civilly liable. The most that happens to them is other groups that they're employees of might cut them loose. This is an academic institution. This is the person is trying to better themselves for all available jobs in their entire future, and now they're getting shit on without evidence. It's not someone who can fall back on their $15 million bank account or sell off their fourth home. It's a little bit different. It's not a public official on the public dole getting paid by the taxpayers. It's an institution getting paid by the taxpayers that's abusing somebody who's paying their own money, either through a loan servicer or out of their own pocket. Totally different thresholds should be in place. And the court of public opinion, anytime it's trying to weigh in on some average Joe civilian, no, it shouldn't be doing that. If anything, it should be in defense of those accused in the assumption of innocence until they are shown beyond a reasonable doubt to be guilty of some sort of crime or inappropriate conduct. In the case of someone like a Bill Cosby, who cares? Little bit of a different thing going on there, because the court of you're a celebrity, so you're making your living, your money comes from being like famous and going out and doing the acting thing, doing the singing thing. You're a very public persona on purpose, and you actually like it, so expect the public to weigh in on the claims against you. This is just a UVM student, not someone with, a doctrinal power within the government, not someone with tens of millions of dollars. That's about all. Peace out.